Hi, I'm John the TRICARE Guy. I'm a Navy retiree, and for years my family and I have moved around the world, living in a lot of different countries, different settings, and we've learned to use our TRICARE benefits everywhere we go. We've gotten pretty good at it. Over the years, we also started a Facebook group called TRICARE Around the World, which now has nearly 15,000 members. So we've gotten to know people from all 50 states, from countries all over the world. Every continent is represented. We've seen their victories, their challenges, their triumphs, their questions, and we've helped them through a lot of difficult situations. So in the course of this, we've found that a lot of people just don't know that their TRICARE benefits work everywhere they go, or if they know that, then they don't know how to do it. It's our job to explain the rules, help you understand, and walk you through the process so that you can use your TRICARE benefits everywhere you go. Stick with us and we'll take you through the whole thing. Your TRICARE plan works worldwide. For years, we've been helping military families understand how. Whether you are an active duty family, retiree, reservist, whether you live in the USA or abroad, we'll explain how to use TRICARE around the world. So, a little about myself. As I said, I'm retired from the Navy, and I've had a number of interesting careers following my Navy days. And my final job that I held before actual full retirement was in Japan. My family and I, we lived in a small town in a remote area. We were in non-SOFA, which means we weren't affiliated with the military or U.S. government in any way. We were on our own in a remote location. And so we got to use TRICARE out there, even with Japanese doctors, and I really learned how it worked. And it was January 2020 when that job came to an end, and finally I was fully retired. So to celebrate, we booked ourselves a vacation rental in Thailand for a month. We thought we're going to go here and unwind, enjoy some sun and ocean, and relax a bit. And that lasted for, a week, 2 weeks, because the very first outbreak of COVID outside of China was Thailand. And it came there, and we found ourselves in lockdown in a big hurry. So our month-long stay in this little town of Thailand ended up more like about 18 months, and we just kind of settled in and got used to the ride. So since everything was closed and we couldn't do a whole lot of anything, I decided to spend my time, and we authored this book, TRICARE Around the World. At that time, by January of 2020, we'd already been running our social media groups for quite a while. We had several thousand followers, and we'd gathered lots of lessons, plus the experience of my own family, the research we'd done through official TRICARE sites and the military health system, going through their guidelines and their rules, and gotten to know TRICARE pretty good. So it was all captured in our book, which we started publishing through Amazon. The first chapter of this book, I describe TRICARE as a life skill. I compared it somewhat to learning to ride a bike, cooking, learning to manage your own bank account, things like that, as a life skill, something that you really need to learn in order to enhance your own particular lifestyle. And learning TRICARE doesn't just happen by accident. You know, if you're going to a military hospital and you're being seen by military doctors, it's pretty easy. You never get a bill, you never do a claim. But not all of us do that. So you might be seen by civilian doctors, you might be on TRICARE Prime or Select or any other different plans that they have. And furthermore, you might even be going to non-network providers, which for those of us living overseas is pretty normal. You go to non-network providers, you pay the bill, you turn in a claim and get reimbursed. So we'd captured just so much life experience doing this and put it all in our book, TRICARE Around the World. So as a life skill, I described that as something that you need to learn with intentionality. And the best way to do that is when you are away from home, you're in unfamiliar settings, what you want to do is see a doctor for something. You need a vaccination, you get a sprained ankle, you have a high fever, whatever it may be. Don't just, sit on the sofa for a couple of days trying to get better, but go to the doctor purposely for the intention of learning how your TRICARE benefits work when you're in an unfamiliar situation. And when you do that, you find out it's not so bad. You learn to submit claims, you turn them in, you get your money back, you set up direct deposit, all of these things that go into making TRICARE work for you. So as you do this, you get more and more comfortable. And the reason being that sooner or later, something big is going to happen in your family in a medical perspective. Someone's going to get hurt or someone's going to get sick. And you don't want to be in the middle of a crisis trying to figure out at that point, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Do I have to call someone? Do I need a referral? No, you need to know these things in advance. So in our TRICARE group, and I talk about this also in chapter 1 of the book, it's rather tragic that a whole lot of people join our group right in the middle of a crisis. And what that means is that someone got hurt or injured unexpectedly, and they're spending their time going through the internet and searching around and Googling TRICARE and stumble upon our group, and they join in a big hurry and say, what do I do? What do I do? I'm in Belize. I'm in the south of France. I'm in Korea. How do I get seen? Do I have to find a military hospital? So we kind of talk them through it, kind of calm things down. Hey, you can go anywhere you need. You don't need authorization. You don't have to call anyone. Address the emergency. Let things settle down. Then we'll work you through the claims process or any notifications that might have to happen. So the lesson from this is you don't have to find yourself in that situation. You should never be in a frantic state where someone that you care about or even yourself is in great need of medical care and you're not quite sure what to do. So everything that we do through my book, through the Facebook groups, through this YouTube channel, I have a monthly newsletter that I send out. It's all working through this, educational in nature, so that you know how your benefits work, you know where to go and who to see, and you're confident that it's going to work for you. This is so important. So TRICARE splits the world into 3 regions, and you are or you should be enrolled into one of these regions. There's TRICARE East and TRICARE West, which are the United States. They're all divided up, the 50 states plus the District of Columbia. And then everything else, which includes U.S. territories and all foreign countries, all of that is TRICARE Overseas. And if you live overseas, you're enrolled in a plan with TRICARE Overseas. If you live in the States and you're enrolled in the East or West region, but you're traveling overseas and you see a doctor, you would submit your claim with TRICARE Overseas. They have their own website and their own process for doing claims, and you need to learn how to do this. So all of our materials, all of our social media outreach is all directed towards helping families learn this, understand this. You want to be confident that when something comes up, you know how to deal with it, and you don't want to be learning these things in the middle of a medical emergency. So what is TRICARE? Just a quick overview. TRICARE is the military health plan for active duty members, military retirees, including medical retirees, their family members, reservists, National Guard, a wide variety of people that are covered through the uniformed services. What TRICARE is not, it's not part of the VA. And people get confused on this all the time. We get people trying to join our group. They're not a military retiree, but they're a vet, and they're wanting to learn how they can use TRICARE. Well, sadly, the answer is they can't. TRICARE is for active duty and retirees primarily, and family members. So if you're a veteran, you never attained retirement, you're not medically retired, even 100% P&T, which is a VA term, that none of that counts towards TRICARE. So your only alternative is VA care or private insurance. So I just want to get that straight on what TRICARE is and what TRICARE isn't. You do have to enroll in a plan if you are eligible for TRICARE. Your family members need to be in DEERS, which is the database that manages everyone eligible for military benefits. You get them into DEERS, but that's not enough to enroll them in a plan. You still need to contact your region, East, West, or Overseas, select a plan for each family member, and start paying your monthly fees or your monthly premiums. I'm just breezing through this quickly. We will have other videos that drill down on this. It's all covered in our book: how to choose a plan, how to enroll in a plan, how to find a doctor wherever you may be, the financial aspects of it. How do you pay? How do you put in a claim? How do you submit appeals if it ever comes to that? So we'll have a lot of information on this, but I'm just trying to give a quick overview right now. So that's it in a quick summary. What I want you to take away from this introductory video: TRICARE works everywhere you go. All right, now that's not an absolute, but when you do have a medical emergency, you don't need permission. You don't have to call anyone. You can seek emergency care through an ER or ambulance or however it may work where you are, and notify TRICARE later, particularly if you get admitted as an inpatient. TRICARE is not really that hard to use, but there is rampant confusion and a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of myths and rumors that float around and get perpetuated. And it's kind of my mission in life to squash those wherever they come up and get the real information out there. So while TRICARE is not hard to use, what we have found is hard to learn how to use, meaning there aren't any comprehensive educational materials. There's no step-by-step guide until we wrote this book. Now there is a step-by-step guide. So we do put everything out in Facebook, but as you know, searching for information on Facebook is just basically impossible. It's disorganized. You have a great conversation going with lots of information put out, and 2 days later you can't find that discussion because it's gotten buried by others. That's the nature of Facebook. So we turn to other resources. This YouTube, I hope that we get a lot of information out there. But the only way that this is all cataloged, referenced, indexed, cross-referenced is the book TRICARE Around the World. And I hope that you pick up a copy of that on Amazon. So that's it for now. We're going to come back with more videos to drill down even deeper on this. I'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsor of our YouTube channel, which is Jan's Medical Supplies. Jan's, I have a number of friends working there. They are a network provider of all types of medical equipment, including hearing aids, wheelchairs, crutches, CPAP, nursing and maternity equipment, things that you need. As a network provider, normally you won't have to do a claim. They'll collect information from you, collect your copayment, and they'll submit the claim. They're located in 30 different military bases around the world. You'll find them in Germany and Korea. They're in Guam and then across the United States, 30 locations and growing. So they're making this YouTube channel possible, and we're really indebted to them. And we'll be putting out more information about that. So we thank you. Please click down to episode 2, and we'll start walking you through the process of how all of this works and try to demystify your use of TRICARE worldwide. Thank you for listening.